Dana and I with some insights into some of the things that go on in the judge's box.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And be aware, like, I know that um we're sometimes in judges education programs, and we had one of our head judges say to us that they had received a complaint from a competitor that said that when they rode by the judge's box before they went in the ring, this is what the complaint was, that the judge looked grumpy. They didn't say
Oh,
the judge was rude. They didn't say the judge said anything. In fact, the judge didn't say anything because they are increasingly telling us to please not interact with the competitors. So
mhm.
I try to say good morning, but I don't dare to say anything else because we're reprimanded for saying anything else. And you mustn't tell us anything about you or your horse. You mustn't tell me he's a Mustang, and you mustn't tell me it's his first show. And you can't
Okay.
tell me he's 32 years old. Please don't tell me,
Hmm.
because you may jeopardize your ride and you put me in a really complicated situation. I'm allowed to say hi and goodbye, and that's
Hmm.
about it. And the only other thing I can say is if at the end of the test there is some problem with your test where I feel absolutely compelled about a rule or something or other to speak to you, I have to get my scribe to witness that I'm speaking to you about and what I'm speaking to you about, and we have to write that in a report. So a judge might speak to you at the end of a test, but it is because there is some problem going on.
Hmm.
So at the beginning of a test, no talking. But this person complained that that judge looked grumpy. And I don't know. I didn't, it's not a judge I know or anything, but I'm assuming, can you imagine, like, we have been judging in heat 105 in the sun with no air
Yeah.
conditioning. I have been judging when it was 20 degrees in Florida and I'm
Hmm.
all wrapped up in a coat. I mean, if we're ill, if we get up in the morning and we're not hospitalized, but we don't feel well, we generally have to come in and judge, because if we don't, it's thousands and thousands of dollars that the show will lose if we don't report for work. And occasionally there's a real emergency where a judge goes to the emergency room. But I have known judges, unbelievable, with broken bones and everything else that haven't been set, that came in and judged before they went to the emergency room. So you have no idea what's going on with that judge. And I'm sorry that their face didn't look cheerful, but they
Hmm.
weren't grumpy. You didn't complain that their judging wasn't okay. You didn't complain that their comments were mean. They just
Yeah.
didn't look cheerful. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, you don't know if they were in a hotel room with one thing I'll tell you is I'm exhausted with competitors that they have no idea that the judge is next door to them in the hotel rooms.
Hmm.
And we don't get any sleep because the competitors are out running around screaming up and down the halls all night, and we're exhausted. And I look out and I recognize the competitors that are at my horse show today,
Hmm.
and they're keeping me up, and I'm tired. And
Hmm.
you'd like me to be fresh? You want me to give big scores? Be quiet
Yeah.
in the hotel. Rest. That's probably self-serving. Sorry. They have no idea.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Life in the judge's box.
it's more complicated than people have any
Yeah.
idea.
Hmm.
Literally, I am looking down, like let's intro tests are scheduled about every 5 minutes. And an intro test takes 3.5 minutes. So I
Hmm.
ring the bell, you come in, I'm judge. The scribe hands me the paper. She's looking for the next horse that's going around and she's marking that horse off. I don't get to speak to them and I shouldn't. She's the only person that interacts with them and she's the only one reading the schedule. I don't know their name. I don't know their number. I don't know who they are because I'm not looking at that schedule.
Hmm.
So I look down, I write on the paper of the person that's finishing. And as I lift my head up, I'm blowing the whistle or ringing the bell and you come in.
Hmm.
Literally, if I rest between rides, it's not more than 3 to 10 seconds
Hmm.
and you're entering.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then, and this goes on until there's a 10-minute break, which maybe or maybe not, I get the break or maybe I don't get the break until lunchtime, 45 minutes. and
Mhm.
it goes like that. And can you imagine a 5 or 6 day show?
That's a lot. That's a lot of
Mhm.
sitting in a box, judging, having minimal time in between. It makes for a long day, so you guys do a good job.
They're
So,
I gotta say, my colleagues are they're wonderful people, and they're very hard workers, and they manage mostly to be cheerful. Most of them
mhm,
they're cheerful, amazingly
mhm,
cheerful people. If they probably wouldn't do this job if they
yeah,
weren't.
yeah,
And so, the one thing that you could do is, um, I actually write on people's paper that come in and smile at me because people are pretty nervous, and, I can't interact with them. I'm not supposed to say much. I'm not supposed to
mhm.
know who they are, and I don't know who they are. But once in a while, somebody will come in and look right at me and smile. And I usually have the scribe write, "Thank you for smiling,"
Oh, that's
because I
nice.
feel like, oh my gosh, they said hi to me. Like
Yeah,
they care that it's actually a person, that it's a person up there. They just
yeah,
don't come in, salute, and walk off, and they
yeah.
never even looked at you. Because some
Mhm,
people come in and salute, they don't look at you. It's got nothing to do with you. They come in, they nod their head, and they're out of there.
mhm. Yeah,
And then they do the same thing when they leave. Um, and you don't, you're not required to say anything. And
mhm,
some judges say something and some don't. But at the end, most judges, if they've been judging a long, long time, we have the etiquette, or we had the etiquette. Older judges have the etiquette of saying thank you to somebody as
mhm.
they leave. And the competitors that just pivot their horses and walk out with their rear end to us and don't say anything. And you're not supposed to talk, but
Mhm.
thank you is nice.
Yeah, I've definitely done that because usually when I halt my horse and he's done a test, I'm just so excited. I give him a big old pat and I'm like grinning and I'll just loop around and like a big smile or, thank you, like,
That's
and,
nice.
walk out because I'm just so ecstatic I made it through the test.
Yeah. You know,
If you like the information we provided today, don't forget, subscribe, like, and share. Also, check out IdaNorrisDressage.com and Ida Norris Western Dressage on Facebook.